168 Hours, You Have More Time Than You Think, by Laura Vanderkam. Picture this. It's a gorgeous Tuesday morning, and a woman named Teresa Daitner is hiking along a peaceful brook in Maryland. Birds are singing, water's babbling, and her brother's dog is happily trotting beside her. She's completely at peace, totally relaxed. Now, you're probably thinking she's retired, right? Or maybe taking a much-deserved vacation? Here's the twist. Teresa runs a multi-million-dollar construction company. She's personally responsible for 12 employees. Paychecks. Oh, and did I mention she's also raising 6 kids, including 8-year-old twins? When she met President Barack Obama and casually mentioned she was both a CEO and a mother of 6, his jaw practically hit the floor. He asked her the same question everyone asks. When do you sleep? But here's the thing. She does sleep. A solid 7 hours every night. She also coaches soccer, reads novels for her book club, gets massages, and throws surprise parties for her husband. Her life isn't some chaotic disaster. It's full, it's rich, and somehow it's actually relaxed. So how on earth is this possible? That's exactly what journalist and author Laura Vanderkam set out to discover in her book, 168 Hours. She's on a mission to dismantle one of the biggest lies of modern life, that being successful means being perpetually exhausted, stressed, and rushed. Spoiler alert, that's complete nonsense. By the time we're done here today, you'll realize you have way more time than you thought. You'll learn the simple mindset shift that helps the most successful people build amazing careers, nurture loving families, and still have time for what they love. This isn't magic, it's just math, and the magic number is 168. We're obsessed with being busy. It's become a weird flex. Someone asks how you're doing, and instead of saying, "I'm great," we reflexively respond with, "I'm so busy." We tell anyone who'll listen that we're working 60, 70, even 80-hour weeks. We complain about getting only 6 hours of sleep and having zero time for exercise, friends, or even just breathing. And honestly, it feels true, right? Between the constant emails, back-to-back meetings, and family stuff, life feels completely squeezed. But Vanderkam, being the journalist she is, decided to actually investigate this feeling. Instead of just accepting what people said about their time, she looked at what they actually did with it. She dug into something called time diary studies, where sociologists have asked thousands of people to log every single minute of their days, kind of like a lawyer tracking billable hours. It's tedious, but it's brutally honest. And guess what? The results are pretty shocking. Turns out, we're terrible at judging how we spend our time. These studies consistently show that most people claiming to work 60-plus hours are actually working closer to 50. Those swearing they're putting in 75 hours? More like 55. We overestimate because it sounds impressive. Nobody wants to admit they're working a regular 40-hour week. And sleep? The data shows the average American gets about 8 hours a night, same as 40 years ago. Even working moms with young kids average around 8 hours. So if we're not working as much as we think, and we're sleeping more than we claim, where's all the time going, and why do we still feel so crushed? The problem is, we're thinking about time all wrong. We think in 24-hour cycles. A weekday can feel insane. Wake up, rush kids to school, work frantically for 8 or 9 hours, commute home, throw together dinner, collapse. It's easy to feel like there's no breathing room. But Vanderkam proposes something radical. Stop thinking in 24-hour days. Start thinking in 168-hour weeks. That's 24 times 7. That's how many hours you get each week. When you zoom out to this wider view, everything changes. A 168-hour block is massive. It's spacious. Let's do some quick math. If you sleep 8 hours a night, that's 56 hours weekly. If you work a demanding 50-hour week, add another 50. That's 106 hours total, which leaves you with 62 hours. 62 extra hours every week. That's basically another full-time job plus a part-time gig combined. That's plenty of time for family dinners, coaching your kids' team, training for a marathon, volunteering, reading, getting a massage, or hiking by that peaceful brook on a Tuesday morning. The problem isn't a lack of time. The problem is we have no clue where our time actually goes. We let hours get eaten up by low-value stuff, mindless scrolling, endless TV, scattered errands, and then wonder why we're overwhelmed. So step 1 in reclaiming your life is becoming a detective of your own time. For 1 week, all 168 hours, keep a time log. Just grab a notebook. Every hour or so, jot down what you've been doing. Don't judge it, just record it. By week's end, you'll have an undeniable picture of your actual life. This isn't about guilt, it's about power. Because once you know where your time really goes, you can start making conscious choices about where you want it to go. Which brings us to the next big question. Once you understand your 168 hours, what should you actually fill them with? Vanderkam introduces a powerful concept borrowed from business: core competencies. Decades ago, big corporations tried doing everything. They'd own oil companies, TV networks, and appliance divisions, all under one roof. But that model eventually failed. The most successful companies learned to focus. They identified the 1 or 2 things they did better than anyone else, their core competencies, and outsourced, minimized, or dropped everything else. Vanderkam argues we should apply this same ruthless focus to our personal lives. Just like companies, people have core competencies, the things you do best, that bring you the most satisfaction, and that others simply can't do as well as you. To discover yours, Vanderkam introduces a wonderful exercise from career coach Caroline Sinisa-Levine called the List of 100 Dreams. It's simple. Grab paper and write down 100 things you want to do or experience in your lifetime. The big number is intentional. It forces you past self-editing. Don't worry about practical or realistic. Write anything. Learn Italian, run a marathon, visit the pyramids, try that new taco place downtown. You can even include stuff you've already done, like graduating, just to get momentum going. This isn't a to-do list. It's a map to your heart. It reveals your passions, curiosities, and hidden desires. As you review it, themes emerge. You'll start seeing the shape of your core competencies. Maybe you're a builder, teacher, adventurer, or nurturer. One profound example in the book is Roald Hoffmann. Born in Poland during World War II, young Hoffmann and his mother survived by hiding in a schoolhouse attic for over a year. To pass those endless, terrifying hours, he stared through a tiny hole in the wall, watching the changing seasons outside with incredible patience and detail. He became, as he later described it, a watcher. This skill, patient observation, became the foundation of his entire life. He applied it to chemistry, where his insights into molecular interactions won him a Nobel Prize. Later in life, he applied that same skill to poetry, becoming a respected published poet writing about science, family, and the quiet moments he'd learned to observe so keenly as a child. He leveraged a single core competency across completely different fields to build a rich, multifaceted life. That's the goal. Spend as many of your 168 hours as possible engaged in your core competencies. To do that, you need to be strategic about the big-time buckets in your life, starting with the biggest for most adults: work. A huge chunk of our waking hours goes to our careers. If that time is spent in a job you hate, it drains energy from everything else. Vanderkam argues that being in the right job is one of the most crucial time management decisions you can make. The right job isn't just about money. It's defined by 3 things. First, it taps into your intrinsic motivation. You genuinely love the work itself. Marine biologist Sylvia Earle, who's logged over 7,000 hours underwater, calls the ocean her backyard and playground. Even in her 70s, she talks about her work with childlike joy. That's intrinsic motivation. You'd do this work even without getting paid. Second, the right job gives you autonomy. You have freedom to make decisions about how you work. Nobody wants micromanaging. Creative, productive work flourishes when you control your process. Third, it offers challenge. The work pushes you to your ability's edge without becoming overwhelming. This is what psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi famously called flow, where you're so absorbed that time seems to disappear. When your job provides these three things, it won't drain you. It'll energize you, giving you more juice for the rest of your 168 hours. But what about the other massive part of life, especially for parents? What about home? This is where Vanderkam presents one of her most fascinating ideas, the new home economics. Fast forward to today. The average mother of young children spends only about 17 hours weekly on housework, half what her grandmother did. But time spent directly interacting with her children has increased. Today's working mothers spend more quality time with their kids than stay-at-home mothers did in the 1960s. How is that even possible? As more women entered the workforce, their time became more economically valuable. Like any rational economist, society made a trade. We collectively decided to swap low-value, non-core competency time, like vacuuming and baking elaborate scratch cakes, for high-value core competency time, nurturing our children. Our housekeeping standards fell, but our parenting standards rose. This is revolutionary. It means career and family aren't in some zero-sum competition. In fact, valuing your professional time has made parents more intentional and focused with their home time. Which brings us to the book's most famous and provocative advice: don't do your own laundry. This isn't really about laundry. It's a metaphor for a powerful principle. Your core competency as a parent is loving and nurturing your children. Nobody else on earth can do that for them like you can. But someone else can absolutely do your laundry, and your grocery shopping, and your house cleaning. Vanderkam tells the story of Sid Savara, a single software developer in Honolulu, who realized he spent 15 hours weekly on food-related chores, shopping, cooking, cleaning up. He was burned out, so he placed a Craigslist ad and hired a personal chef, a local mom, for $60 weekly plus groceries. She prepares all his healthy meals for the week. He instantly bought back 10 to 12 hours of his life, which he reinvested in his real passions, his job, exercise, and his rock band. This is the essence of new home economics. Outsourcing isn't a luxury for the rich. It's a strategic tool for everyone. It's about recognizing opportunity cost. Every hour spent on non-core competency tasks is an hour not spent on something only you can do, whether that's closing a deal, reading bedtime stories, or writing a song. The same strategic mindset applies to leisure time. For most people, leisure is an afterthought, whatever's left at day's end, usually defaulting to the easiest path, television. Time diary studies show Americans watch a shocking 30 hours of TV weekly on average. While pleasant, studies also show it doesn't make us particularly happy or rejuvenated. Vanderkam argues for effortful leisure. True recreation, literally recreating yourself, requires planning and initiative. She encourages picking 1 to 3 leisure pursuits, aligned with your core competencies, and scheduling them as non-negotiable appointments. One must be exercise. The others can be anything: singing in a choir, volunteering, learning a language, painting. By focusing leisure time on meaningful activities, you improve at them. You achieve flow. You build skills and relationships. This truly recharges your batteries, making you more effective everywhere else. The book brings these concepts together in a powerful final case study. Catherine Beaumont Murphy, a first-year lawyer and new mother in Boston. When Vanderkam first speaks with her, Catherine feels completely panicked. She feels like she has no time, like she's failing at work and home. She believes her life is a chaotic mess. Then she keeps a time log for 1 week. The results astonish even her. She's working about 46 hours weekly, a lot, but not the insane hours she imagined. She's sleeping over 9 hours nightly, on average. She's exercising 7 hours weekly. She's reading 9 hours. And on weekends, She spends a massive 18 hours of focused, quality time with her husband and daughter. Her life isn't a mess. Her life is amazing. By any measure, she's having it all. The panic didn't come from lacking time. It came from a false narrative. Once she saw her 168-hour reality, she stopped feeling panicked and started feeling blessed. With small tweaks, like not fixing her broken TV and carving out 20 morning minutes to play with her daughter instead of rushing, she transformed her life's perception. And that's the ultimate secret of 168 hours. The reality of our lives is far more spacious and full of possibility than we believe. We're not victims of the clock. We're the architects of our time. Life is lived in hours, and if you pay attention to them, you can build a life that's not just productive, but joyful, meaningful, and full. When you truly absorb the message of 168 hours, it feels like a weight lifts. The relentless pressure of modern life, that always behind feeling, begins to dissolve. What's left is profound empowerment. The most powerful lesson isn't a productivity hack or scheduling trick. It's a philosophical shift, from seeing time as an enemy to be conquered, to seeing it as a canvas to be filled. The story we tell ourselves about time dictates our reality. If you constantly think, "I'm so busy I have no time," you'll feel stressed and powerless. Your brain actively seeks evidence confirming this belief. But change the narrative to, "My life is full and I choose where my time goes," and everything shifts. The language itself moves from victimhood to ownership. As Vanderkam points out, when we say, "I don't have time to exercise," we're really saying, "Exercise isn't a priority for me." Being honest this way is the first step toward aligning actions with true values. For anyone building their adult life, this book is essential. You're at the very beginning of designing your own 168-hour weeks. You can build your life from the ground up with these principles, avoiding the time crunch trap so many fall into unknowingly. You can decide from the start that your life will have space for a challenging career, deep relationships, and passions that light you up. So how can you apply this wisdom today? Here are 3 simple, practical actions. First, for just 1 week, track your time. No fancy app needed. A pocket notebook works perfectly. Don't judge what you find. Just observe. This single awareness act is incredibly eye-opening. It gives you the hard data needed to make real changes. Second, start your list of 100 dreams. Give yourself permission to be bold, silly, unrealistic. Don't think about how you'll achieve them. Just get them on paper. This helps you hear your inner voice, the one drowned out by everyday obligations. Third, change your language. For 1 week, consciously stop saying, "I don't have time." When tempted, replace it with, "It's not a priority." See how that feels. It might be uncomfortable at first, but it forces you to confront choices and take responsibility. It puts you back in your life's driver's seat. In the end, this book offers a beautiful, hopeful vision of what life can be. Life is a mosaic, Vanderkam suggests. Piece together one 168-hour tile at a time. The pattern isn't random. The design isn't predetermined. You're the artist. You have the time, materials, and power to create a masterpiece. That was a summary of 168 Hours. You Have More Time Than You Think, by Laura Vanderkam. We've covered the big ideas today, but honestly, a summary is like looking at photographs of a grand feast. You can see what's on the table, but you can't taste the food. The real magic happens when you read the book yourself. It's in those quiet moments when a particular story or simple phrase connects with you unexpectedly. This summary helps you decide if this book deserves your time. If anything we've discussed today struck a chord, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning. It's an experience that can genuinely change how you see every single hour of your life. A link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book. Let's keep learning and growing together.